In this video, we're going to show you how to set up and connect a subwoofer to your audio interface. In this video, we're using the Atom Audio T10S powered subwoofer with the Atom Audio T5V powered studio monitors. This is the setup that I use on a daily basis at my desk. We have two audio interfaces here. We have the Volt 276 from Universal Audio, and we have the M Audio M-Track Solo. The point here is that we're going to show you how to make the connection to your subwoofer using RCA, balanced TRS, and XLR, just to cover all our bases to make sure that this video is complete. Now, if you are looking for pricing or specs for any of the equipment that we have in this video or the cables that we use to connect everything up, we do have links down in the description below. With these links, you can find the current price for everything here from a variety of online retailers to make sure that you are getting the best price possible. Now, first of all, we have one bit of theory that we need to cover off here, and that's the difference between an unbalanced and a balanced signal. An unbalanced signal would be something like a RCA output from an audio interface or a TS quarter-inch jack. You can see here I have two quarter-inch jacks in the palm of my hand. The first one has two sections. It has the tip and the sleeve. This is unbalanced. Now, with an unbalanced signal, you should not be running more than 10 or 15 feet, or you will get some sort of noise and static and interference. So if you're using RCA or a quarter-inch TS jack here, then those should be on the shorter end of your cable run. If you need more than 10 or 15 feet, or you want the premium quality for connecting your audio interface to your subwoofer and powered speakers, you need a balanced signal. To get a balanced signal, you need a TRS quarter-inch jack. It has a tip, a ring, and a sleeve, or you need an XLR cable. Now, it's important to know that with a TRS and XLR, it's just a different connector. It's the cable that's doing the magic part. So you can actually get a converter cable to convert from TRS quarter-inch all the way to XLR if you do need to for your equipment. That'll come into play in a little bit. We'll show you how to set everything up. Okay, so the next thing that you need to know is that the subwoofer here is really the brains of the operation. We need to feed it signal from our audio interface. It'll process it and figure out what signal goes to the sub and what signal goes to the studio monitors. If you look at the back of your audio interface here, you can see that you either have a left and right output of RCA or quarter-inch. You don't have a separate subwoofer output. This is very common. It doesn't mean that these are low quality or low featured audio interfaces. This is just the standard way of doing things. So what we need to do is we need to take the left and right outputs from our audio interface, feed the subwoofer, and then the subwoofer will send the signal onto the top monitors. Before we do that, we need to quickly talk about the high-pass filter. Most powered subwoofers like this, including the Atom Audio one that I have here with me today, will do the processing and let the speakers know that they don't have to worry about the low end. What does that look like? If you see here, there's a crossover switch on the back of our subwoofer, and we need to choose whether or not we want to send everything above 80 Hertz to our powered studio monitors, 120 Hertz, or if we want to send the full signal to our powered studio monitors. According to the manual on these and my personal preference is I like having that on 80 Hertz, so it'll send everything above 80 Hertz to our powered studio monitors so they can work on that, and it'll keep the low end in the subwoofer itself. You can extend the range of the sub up to 120 if you want, or you can ignore it if you're doing some sort of complicated setup that you're doing custom, but this is the out-of-the-box setting that should be set at 80 Hertz. So for my personal preference, I always like working in the direction of signal. So you can see here that I have a standard RCA cable. I'm going to connect this to the back of my audio interface. White is always left and red is always right. And then we're going to connect this to the back of the subwoofer. Now, if you take a close look at what we just did, we connected the RCA cable to the in on the subwoofer, and now we need to connect it to the out to go from out of the subwoofer into our powered studio monitor. In order to make that connection, we're going to use another RCA cable here to connect the subwoofer to our powered studio monitors. So I connected my audio interface, I turned my power studio monitors on, you can see the power lights on the back. Now let's turn up the volume. So you can see there that the system is working correctly. We will do some sound tests right at the end. Okay, so that's how we do it with an unbalanced RCA signal to connect to our powered speakers. But what happens if we need a balanced signal? We're going to use the 1/4 inch balanced TRS outputs of our Volt 276 audio interface here to connect to our Atom audio subwoofer. Now, we do run into one little problem, and this is pretty typical. You're going to have to figure out which way you are. Your subwoofer will either have balanced 1/4 inch inputs and outputs, or on this one, it has balanced XLR inputs and outputs. So you can use a straight TRS cable, or if you're like us with the Atom audio one with the XLR inputs, then you need a cable like this. This cable will convert from balanced TRS outputs of your audio interface to a male XLR jack. You can get these in all different kinds of lengths. My preference is to get a short version of this and then use an XLR cable to make whatever length of run you need. But if you know exactly what you need, you can get a 6 or 10 foot version of this cable, no problem. So let's connect this to the output of the Universal Audio Volt 276. That's the first one. And I have a second one for the right output. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to extend this with some XLR cables. So I'm going to use a white one for the left output. And I'm going to use a red XLR cable for the right. Red is always right. So let's connect the white one to the left XLR input on the back of the subwoofer. Next, we'll connect the right one to the right input on the subwoofer. Next, we'll use another white XLR cable to daisy chain the left output of the subwoofer to the left speaker, and then we'll use a red XLR cable to do the same with the right side. Okay, next let's turn it up to make sure that we have signal. So there you can see everything's working perfectly for us. Next, let's get on to the audio sample version of this so you can hear the setup and the difference it makes between having a subwoofer and not having a subwoofer with your setup. If you did find this video helpful, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Now enjoy the sound test.
Tell me how, I'll do it, babe.